नमस्कार मित्रांनो, लॉजिक ह्या प्रकरणाच्या तिसऱ्या भागामध्ये आपलं स्वागत आहे. क्वांटिफायर्स अँड क्वांटिफाईड स्टेटमेंट्स ह्याबद्दल काल आपण प्राथमिक माहिती घेतली. क्वांटिफाईड स्टेटमेंट मीन्स स्टेटमेंट विच स्पीक्स अबाउट द क्वांटिटी, हाऊ मच पार्ट ऑफ the collection satisfy the given condition. Such type of statements are quantified statements. Here we have two examples. P, there exists an even prime number in the set of natural numbers. In other language we can say the same thing as some natural numbers are even prime numbers. Some natural numbers are even prime numbers is same as there exists an even prime number in the set of natural numbers. That means among all the natural numbers, not all, I am not saying all, but some natural numbers are even prime. Some natural numbers satisfy the condition. Some elements in the set satisfy the condition. Such type of quantified statement, such type of a statement is called quantified statement. Now next example is all natural numbers are positive. Now here condition is being positive, and how much part of the set of natural numbers satisfy this condition? All natural numbers are positive. So such type of a statement which speaks about the quantity, they are called quantified statements. Now there are two types of quantifiers. All is one quantifier, and some, which is equivalent of saying there exists, is another quantifier. Each of them asserts a condition for some or all objects in a collection. Words there exist and for all are called quantifiers. There exist is called existential quantifier. There exists, this quantifier is called existential quantifier, and it is denoted by this symbol. We read this symbol as there exists. For all is called universal quantifier and is denoted by this symbol. We read this symbol as for all. So what are the names of two quantifiers? Existential quantifier and universal quantifier. Existential quantifier speaks about the existence, and universal quantifier says about whether all the members in collection satisfy the condition or not. Now here two sentences, same statements. P, there exists an even prime number in the set of natural number. All natural numbers are positive. So statements involving quantifiers are called quantified statements. So P and Q are quantified statements. Every quantified statement corresponds to a collection. So in previous example, set of natural number was the collection, and a condition. So being even prime number or being positive, these are the conditions. In statement P, the collection is the set of natural numbers, and the condition is being even prime number. What is the condition in statement Q? Read the statement and tell me what is the condition in the statement. Read the statement. Statement is all natural numbers are positive. So what is the condition? Yes, being positive is the condition, and all natural numbers satisfy the condition. A statement quantified by universal quantifier for all is true if all objects in the collection satisfy the condition. If all objects in the collection satisfy the condition, then that quantified statement is called true, or its truth value is said to be true. And if it is said to be false if at least one object in the collection does not satisfy the condition. So if I made argument, quantified statement that all students in our class come from Bengal, all students in our class come from Bhingar. So students come from Bhingar is condition, and collection is set of all students in our class. Now, all students in our class do not satisfy this condition, therefore the truth value of the statement is false. When can we say that quantified statement or universally quantified statement is true? If all members in the collection satisfy the condition. Now next paragraph, a statement quantified by existential quantifier, there exist, is true if at least one object in the collection satisfies the condition. If at least one object satisfies the condition, then that statement is called true. And when it is said to be false, and it is said it is false if no object in the collection satisfies the condition. Let us have one example. A is the set containing these 7 numbers. Determine the truth value of the following. Now first statement is, there exists x belongs to A such that x minus 4 is equal to 3. Now I will move to solution and discuss the truth value of this statement. First read the statement. First statement, there exists x belongs to A such that x minus 4 is equal to 3. Now in solution we see, if we put x is equal to 7, note that 7 is in A, 7 is in set A, 7 is a member in set A, and 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. That means 7 satisfy the condition, 7 satisfy the equation, the given statement is true. Why? Because there exists at least one member in the set which satisfy the condition, and this is existential quantified statement. Now second statement is, for all x belongs to A, x plus 1 is equal to 3. I am reading second equation, second statement, for all x belongs to A, x plus 1 is greater than 3. So it is universally quantified statement. So we have to check whether all members in the set, all elements in the set satisfy the condition. So if we take x is equal to 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and 2 is not greater than 3. So 1 doesn't satisfy the condition, 2 doesn't satisfy the condition. So the truth value of this second statement is false. Third is, for all x belongs to A, 8 minus x is less than 7. Again it is universally quantified statement. You check whether all members in the collection satisfy the condition or not. I will move to fourth equation. Fourth statement is, there exists x belongs to A such that x plus 8 is equal to 16. This is existential quantified statement. You have to find, you have to check, is there any member in the collection which satisfy this condition? If at least one element in the set satisfy this condition, then this statement is said to be true. Now new concept, dual. New concept is dual. We use letters T and C to denote tautology and contradiction respectively. We are already familiar with these two letters. Letter T is used to denote a tautology. What is tautology? A statement pattern which is true in all possible cases. What is contradiction? A statement pattern which is false in all possible cases. And these small t and small c are used to denote tautology and contradiction. Next paragraph. If two statements contain logical connectives like or, and letters T and C, then they are said to be duals of each other. Two logical statements are said to be duals of each other if one of them is obtained from the other by interchanging or with and T with C. I will explain this with the help of example. The dual of P or Q is P and Q. See, from first I can obtain second just by replacing or by and. Second example, T or P. Dual of T or P is C and P, and is replaced by and T is replaced by C. Third example, T and P, its dual is C or P. So this is concept of dual. It is very simple, just to make interchange, but it is useful for proving theorems. When statements of theorems are complicated, we can write their dual and prove the dual of the statements. Now here is one exercise for writing duals of the statements, and it is very easy to write duals. So you practice these examples. Answers are also given in this video, and answers are given in textbook also. So you can practice this concept of dual. It is very easy. I will leave it to you. I will move to next concept, that is negations of compound statement. We are familiar with negation of a statement. Negation of, let us see what this slide says. Negation of conjunction. Negation of conjunction. Conjunction means compound statement in which connective and is used. Here is one example. Example is 6 is even and perfect number. 6 is even and perfect number. Here one question is asked, when is the statement 6 is even and perfect number is false? You have to tell when this statement will be false, and this will be false means it is so if 6 is not even or 6 is not perfect number. That means of the two components in the conjunction, first component is 6 is even and second component is perfect number. 6 is perfect number. So of these two components, if at least one is false, one component doesn't satisfy the condition, then that conjunction is said to be false. The negation of P and Q is negation P or negation Q, because we want truth value of the given statement and its negation to be opposites of each other. So if P and Q is true, then negation P or negation Q will be false, and if P and Q is false, its negation P or negation Q will be true. The negation of 6 is even and perfect number is, the negation of 6 is even and perfect number is 6 is not even or not perfect number. So we have to write negations of the both components and replace that connective and by or. Now here one activity is given. You can perform this activity. Activity says, using truth table, verify that negation of P and Q is equivalent to negation P or negation Q. You are asked to verify this equivalence using truth table. So prepare truth table for these two statement patterns and show that their last columns are identical. This equivalence is called De Morgan's law. Next we see negation of disjunction. When is the statement X is prime or Y is even is false? When is the statement X is prime or Y is even is false? It is so if X is not prime and Y is not even. Means for this statement to be false, we want both the components to be false. So we write negation of P or Q is negation of P and negation of Q. The negation of X is prime or Y is even is X is not prime and Y is not even. So how to write negation? Write negation of both the components and replace word or by and. Activity. Here one activity is given for you. Using truth table, verify that negation P or Q is equivalent to negation P and negation Q. This is also called De Morgan's law. So there are two parts of the De Morgan's law. This is first one, last line, negation P and Q. Here last line is negation P or Q. Now you can compare their right sides. So these two De Morgan's laws are duals of each other. These two De Morgan's laws are duals of each other. Now here it is said, mention the name of these two laws. Now negation of implication. Now this is little bit complicated, but I will try to explain this with one example. Let us read this matter given on this slide first, and then I will explain it. Implication P implies Q asserts that, implication P implies Q asserts that if P is true statement, then Q is also true statement. If P is true statement, antecedent is true, then consequence must be true. This is said in the implication. When is an implication is true and when is it false? So question, this is question. When can we say implication is true implication or implication is false implication? While preparing for truth table of implication, I have told you that implication is false if antecedent is true and consequence is false. Now consider the statement, if bakery is open, then I will buy a cake for you. If bakery is open, then I will buy a cake for you. And clearly the statement will be false only when the bakery was open and I didn't buy a cake for you. See carefully. If bakery was open and I didn't buy cake for you. If this is the situation, bakery open and I didn't buy cake for you, that means whatever I had said that if a bakery is open then I will buy a cake for you, this is false, and this is the only situation when implication is false. So in the next line we read, if P then Q is false only in the case P is true and Q is false. In all other cases it is true. The negation of statement if P then Q is the statement P and not Q. So what is the opposite situation of P implies Q? The opposite situation of P implies Q is P and not Q. Bakery is open and I didn't buy a cake for you. This is the opposite situation of the given implication. So using truth table you can verify this, and it is given in activity. Activity says using truth table verify negation P implies Q is equivalent to P and negation Q. This equivalence will help us in writing negations of implication. Similarly, the negation of biconditional is discussed here. You can read, it is very much similar to negation of our implication. I will skip this slide. I will move to examples. Write negations of the following. 3 plus 3 is less than 5 or 5 plus 5 is equal to 9. Now do not look at the truth values of the statements, whether equations are right or wrong. We have to write negation. So first sentence I will read again. 3 plus 3 less than 5 or 5 plus 5 is equal to 9. Its negation is, I will directly move to the last line in this slide. First line and last line. 3 plus 3 greater than 5 and 5 plus 5 not equal to 9. You can see first line and last line, they are opposites of each other. Only change which you have to notice carefully is in the first line we have connective OR and in the answer connective is AND. So take care of interchanging these connectives also. Again here I will ask you to read first line and last line. First line says 7 is greater than 3. Here last line 7 is less than 3. In first line connective is AND. In last line in answer connective is OR, and 4 greater than 7 is replaced by 4 less than 11. 4 greater than 11 is replaced by 4 less than 11. So we have to take negations of components, two parts of the statement, and interchange the connective. Now third one is important. Third statement says the number is neither odd nor perfect square. Number is neither odd nor perfect square. You read this sentence. The number is neither odd nor perfect square. Given statement can be written as the number is not odd and not perfect square. So here in this form, I have changed the form of the statement. You can see the connective is and in final answer, connective is or. See the last line, the number is odd or perfect square. This is the negation of the given statement. Now in fourth statement also, I will read fourth one. The number is an even number if and only if it is divisible by 2. Number is an even number if and only if it is divisible by 2. Its meaning is, if number is even, then it is divisible by 2, and if number is divisible by 2, then it is even. I will move to the answer, last line. In the above 4-5 lines, I have expressed that statement in symbolic form, and in the last line we write its negation. I read the negation. A number is even but not divisible by 2, or a number is divisible by 2 but not even. What our main given statement says? Given statement says if number is even, then it is divisible by 2. Negation says a number is even but not divisible by 2. So this is exactly opposite situation of the situation expressed by the given statement. So this is how to write the negations. Now here another exercise for writing negations. So you practice this. This is also similar to previous one, but the change is here quantifiers are used. Here quantifiers are used. So you practice this. You read this article, how to write negations of quantified statements. In the next lecture we will discuss this article of writing negations of quantified statement. तर मित्रांनो, आपण पुस्तकामधून याचा समांतर अभ्यास करणं अपेक्षित आहे. मी तुम्हाला छोट्या छोट्या व्हिडिओजमधून ही माहिती सांगत आहे, आणि याच्या बरोबरच अपेक्षित आहे की तुम्ही हा व्हिडिओ पाहिल्यानंतर पुस्तक उघडायचं, वही घ्यायची, वही पेन पण जवळ ठेवायचा, आणि पुस्तकामध्ये जे दिलेलं आहे ते तुमच्या हाताने वहीमध्ये लिहून काढलं पाहिजे, तरच ते तुम्हाला येणार आहे. ते खूप सोपं आहे, परंतु जे सोपं आहे ते आपल्याला अवगत करण्यासाठी, आपल्याला येण्यासाठी ते हाताखालून गेलं पाहिजे, म्हणजेच आपल्या लेखणीतून ते उतरलं पाहिजे, आपल्याला लिहिण्याचा सराव झाला पाहिजे. तर वही घ्या, पुस्तक घ्या, आणि वहीमध्ये हे ट्रूथ टेबल बनवणं, स्टेटमेंटचे निगेशन लिहिणं, ह्याचा थोडासा सराव करा. भेटूया आपण पुढच्या भागामध्ये.